Once a giant, always a giant. For me, it's only a giant.
What's going on YouTube? Diggy546. Definitely hit that subscribe button if you're new. Like the video if you like the video. And I won't tell if you click that bell. Let's go ahead and get into this. Alright, so we got the Dallas Cowboys. This video is coming a little bit late in the week. I usually try to get these videos out on Wednesday, but a little bit of busy of a week. Nonetheless, we got the Dallas Cowboys coming up. The Giants are coming off their big win. I was going to say biggest win of the season. Their only win of the season, but it was a big win nonetheless. So 2 weeks in a row, I think the Giants offense looked pretty good. They didn't do as much as I would have liked them to do in the Falcons game, but they looked good in 2 straight weeks. And then that third week, the Giants offense pretty much exploded. And that really wasn't expected by some people because Sterling Shepard was missing, which I thought was the most important part of that offense. And on top of that, Darius Slayton was missing, which I think we might agree that Darius Slayton might not be as important as we originally thought. I think that the addition of John Ross, along with Kadarius Toney, I think those guys should be getting snaps over him. Not saying that Darius Slayton is a bad player at all. I just think that John Ross might be a little bit better at stretching the field. Now, people do know about his drop issues, but he hasn't dropped the ball as a Giant yet. Not one drop as a Giant yet. I think he had like 3 targets or 4 targets, and he caught pretty much every single one of them that touched his hands. So he hasn't had that drop issue yet. And if he's not going to be dropping the ball, he's definitely a better field stretcher than Darius Slayton. Darius Slayton is a 4.39 guy, while John Ross is a 4.22 guy. Anytime he steps on the field, the defenses know that they have got to put 2 guys over the top of him, because if you don't, he's simply just going to outrun the coverage. It's just that simple. So with John Ross there and his ability to run those slant routes, you saw in overtime, he ran a slant route that was great. They picked up a first down. He ran a comeback route where he set up a Debo on pretty much a triple move, came back, first down. So John Ross shows a lot more ability to be shiftier, to run better routes. I mean, in the intermediate area, being frank, he runs better routes than Slayton in the short and the intermediate area as well as the deep area. So I think John Ross should be getting snaps over Slayton. Will that actually happen? We'll see how it plays out. But I think he should be getting snaps over him. I definitely don't think that it should be a situation where John Ross pretty much goes to being a bench player. I don't think that should happen. Kadarius Toney, when he got the ball in his hands, he was a magician. He made 5 guys miss statistically. But I mean, I counted 5 guys missing on one play. If you go back and watch my film session on Kadarius Toney, shout out to you all for supporting that video. I think it's almost at 20,000 views now. But if you go back and see that video, on that first play where he cut across the field, he made 5 guys miss. So they're not counting how many people he really made miss. And that dude is a serious problem in the open field. I'm predicting he's going to get his first touchdown this week. He's going to be a serious issue for defenses for the rest of the season. Kadarius Toney is not someone to play around with. So those two, I feel, should have, kind of leapfrogged Darius Slayton on the chart. But Sterling Shepard is a beast. Sterling Shepard is our best route runner. To me, he's someone that still needs to be in the game. He still needs to get his targets. So you got 4 receivers right there who I think are really, really good at this point. And Darius Slayton is also a good receiver. I just don't think he should play over those other guys. Now, when you look at what this offense can possibly do, I think that this offense should be able to score against Dallas. Now, Trayvon Diggs is on a tear. Trayvon Diggs is really doing his thing. He's got 5 interceptions in 4 games. That is, most cornerbacks don't have 5 interceptions in their entire career. Being honest, I mean, I'd be surprised if Adoree Jackson even has 4 interceptions his entire career. So that's very impressive that Diggs has that many interceptions. But I think he's a guy that's going to take some chances. So I think that'll give us an opportunity to make some big plays. And the way that Daniel Jones has been playing, setting up some of these DBs, the way that our receivers have been running these routes these last couple of weeks, I see some opportunities over the top of Diggs. Now, we can't get too aggressive on that side because he has 5 interceptions for a reason. I mean, let's be frank. He has those stats for a reason. But there will be opportunities there because he's being very aggressive right now. And the Dallas defense leads the league in turnovers. As far as getting turnovers, they got I think they got 10 turnovers, or maybe they're in second place now. But I know they definitely lead the league in interceptions. I see the Bills right here at 11, so maybe they just passed them. But the Dallas Cowboys lead the league in turnover differential. So essentially, I think that this defense is incredibly opportunistic. I think they're going to be very aggressive, and we've got to figure out a way to combat that aggressiveness. So I expect to see a lot of big plays, a lot of double moves, a lot of sluggos, things like that to get over top of this defense. Now, the Dallas offense, we already know about them. I mean, we know about CeeDee Lamb. We know about Amari Cooper. We know about Zeke Elliott, who just had a 140-yard game. We know about Tony Pollard, who's another threat to be a guy to go over 100 yards all-purpose any given day. Their two tight ends are going to be solid because of everything else around them, and they're pretty athletic. That's Dallas Cowboys offense pretty much. I mean, it all starts with the offensive line. They've still got a good offensive line after all these years. They've managed to keep some of these guys, replace some of these guys in key spots, and they're still playing at a very high level. Not as good as they were before, but they're still playing at a really high level. So first things first, I think we have to stop the run game. You got to stop the run game because that opens up everything else. And then on top of that, even if you stop the run game, they're still going to be able to throw the ball all over the place. I don't see this Giants defense being good enough from what I've seen to limit this Dallas Cowboys offense to anything under 28 points. I really can't see the Giants defense doing that. And that's why a lot of people are going to say, listen, the Giants need to play old school football. We got to punch them in the mouth. We got to run the ball 40 times and run the air out of the ball. And Saquon's got to get 28 carries and get 5-6 yards every time and punish the defensive line of the Dallas Cowboys. That all sounds fine and well. It all sounds great. It sounds perfect, actually. But out of all the games over the years, or at least these past 2 years, where you said the Giants have to run the ball and, control the clock and just pretty much dominate the line of scrimmage, besides that Seahawks game, how many times have the Giants successfully done that and gone out to win a game, especially with Saquon Barkley, who, I mean, let's be real. He's a boom or bust running back. He's an elite running back. But he's a boom or bust kind of guy. He's not going to take the 4-5, 4-5, 4. That's just not his game. And Devontae Booker, for some reason, he played well this past couple of years, but for some reason, as a Giant, he's just not getting it done. So I just don't see this Giants offense being able to run the ball over and over again and sustain drives and then capitalize in the red zone because they've been horrible. They've been 1 for 4. Weeks 1 through 4, they've been 1 for 4 every week in the red zone. So to control the ball and then control the clock, if you're going to be holding the ball for that long, even if we were able to dominate in the ground game, you have to 100% score in the red zone when you get down there, or else you're just holding the clock. You ran 10 minutes off the clock, you kick a field goal, and then Dak throws a 80-yard bomb to CeeDee Lamb, and all of a sudden you're down 7-3, but you're dominating time possession. So this is why time possession isn't the only thing we should be worrying about. And if we do worry about it, we absolutely, positively must score in the red zone. That's number one. Number two, pretty much, I think this game is going to just turn into a shootout. I think this game should be a shootout. I think the Giants should go into this game wanting a shootout. And people are going to say I'm crazy, and the Dallas Cowboys have a lot more firepower and a better offensive line and everything. But at the same time, when have the Giants proved that they can punch somebody in the mouth and run the ball all game? I have not seen that yet. So we have got to turn this into a shootout. I just think we got to go out there, get Daniel Jones the ball early and often, run some play actions, run some read options. Don't abandon the run. Don't abandon the run because the Dallas Cowboys are giving up 4.7 yards per carry. And I think the running yards that we'll have are going to be from big runs from Saquon Barkley, because I think when you get a guy against a bad run defense like Saquon Barkley, there's going to be huge runs instead of those 8 to 10 yard runs over and over again. So please go out there with the mentality of we have to score points. When we are on 4th and 1 in their territory or 4th and 2, go for it. We have got to get as many points as possible because I do not see the Giants walking out of here with a W unless they score 30 points. We saw the Chargers go in there and establish the run and pretty much control the clock against the Cowboys. But guess what? They lost 20-17 because they couldn't capitalize in the red zone. The Giants also can't capitalize in the red zone. So I don't want us in those positions. Take the shots from outside the red zone. Take shots down the field. Same game plan as last week on offense that we used in that second half. Be very aggressive. Try to keep the ball out of harm's way. That's the only way that I see us winning this game. Because And unless we prove that we can score in the red zone, we got to win in the shootout. We got to win moving the ball up and down the field, taking those big chunks out of that Dallas Cowboys defense, which I think is very possible. They're giving up a lot of yards still. They're not giving up a ton of points, but they're giving up a lot of yards. And we got to take advantage of the aggressiveness of this defense. Now, do I think that the Giants can win this game? I think they definitely can win this game. But what is my official pick? I think I already said this on the Talking Giants stream. I think I said 33-30. That's what I'm going with right now. I picked the Giants to lose last week and we won. So guess what? I'm picking them to win. I'm picking them to lose again this week. Picking them to lose 33-30. The Giants offense, they've got to put up at least 30 points if they want to have a shot at winning this game. I don't expect this defense to limit that Cowboys offense much, but get into a shootout, try to force some turnovers. Do not try to go in here and control the clock and run the ball because I just don't see it working. It didn't work. It didn't work in week 1 of this year. It didn't work in week 1 of last year. It's just not something that the Giants are proving that they can do. So until we can score in the red zone, I said it again for the 1,000th time in this video, we should not be trying to go in there and try to do something that we're not good at. So Giants hopefully can go in there and get a win, but for now, my prediction is 33 Dallas, 30 New York Giants. If you made it this deep into the video, come on, just hit the subscribe button. I make Giants content primarily, draft content secondarily, and during the season, I'm going to be doing a lot of reacting to pretty much most of the NFL games and everything NFL. So if you made it this deep, go ahead and join the D6 squad.